We're all ready to go.
Once it's working,
We're going. Hey, welcome to Buzz Media. We are here watching the boys varsity game, senior night versus Madomic Valley.
And now for tonight's starters. First for the visiting Panthers. Number 3, sophomore Patrick McKinney. Number 4, freshman Blake Morrison.
Oh, we got a squad of young ones running out the field.
Number 5, sophomore Addison Noah. Number 7, senior Justin Mahoney. Number 9, junior Ian Dowdy. Number 11, junior Zach Chessman. Number 13, junior Gavin Redinger. Number 19, junior Will Smith. Number 22, junior Zach Ringpenny. Number 24, sophomore Jake Bickmore. And number 0, junior goalkeeper Aiden Starr. The Panthers are coached by Brian Campbell, Paul Derby, and Patrick Malora. And now for your Leavitt Hornets. Junior, number 0, Blaine Clark. Junior, number 5, Ethan Weston. Junior, number 8, Ryan Tebow. Freshman, number 11, Garrett Godden. Junior, number 14, Christian Keenan. Junior, number 15, Zach Morrison. Junior, number 17, Caleb Bell. Senior, number 24, Trevor Godden. Junior, number 29, Lee Johansson. Sophomore, number 33, Caleb Derby. And sophomore, number 35, Ian Redstone. The Hornets are coached by Zach Conlon and Todd Johansson. At this time, would you all please remove your hats and rise for the playing of our national anthem.
welcome to Buzz Media coverage of tonight's Leavitt Boys Soccer Senior Night. Mr. Shaffelli is with me on the broadcast. How you doing tonight?
Not bad, not bad. That's why we're in the booth tonight.
Yeah, it's a little chilly out there. I'm trying to adjust our sound. I'm doing a little sound check, being our own sound technician. This should be a big matchup. How's it looking?
We got Dominic Valley coming in, number 3 seed in Class B South. Having a great season, 10-0-2 is their record. They are accumulating 107 heel points. They're worth 29, so they're quite a heel point gem. As long as they can pull out the win or even a tie today. Hornets are a 7 seed right now. They're right in between a couple of teams that they could possibly catch. They probably won't fall out of the playoffs, but they'd love to be able to get a few more points to solidify that standing and maybe keep that home game. They're going to have to play Cleveland. Keep that home game as the first one they're going to have.
And we see the Hornets kind of swarming around. I know it's overused, but sometimes you can't resist getting ready. And then the other thing you got to factor into this is, so you're getting a game, it's a big matchup, and it's senior night, and it's the night game, so one time all season that they're going to be out on the football field. So you know that's bringing a lot of energy.
It always brings more energy. It also, you hope it brings a little bit of a crowd. The tough part for the Hornet boys right now is both football is away. There's a girls soccer team who is kind of their mutual fan central. They're also away with Dominic, so I'm sure the girls are coming home, trying to get back here to support the boys. Hopefully we'll start seeing them trickle in the second half.
Yeah, and maybe we can get one of them to give us an update on their game.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you see things starting off?
All right, so in checking in, being with the team all week, the rest of being Tony Romo, Dominic Valley plays a terrific possession game. So the Hornets going to try to break that up as much as possible, start making them play longer balls. Dominick's also very, very physical. Hornets are going to try to stretch their defense out as they have, as Dominick's only given up 6 goals all season. So that'll be the big key, is trying to find some chinks in that back line.
Now, I have to say, I got to take a moment here, as a long-time Leavitt Soccer person here, as a player and a coach and a fan, Dominic is an impressive story. This is not a team that's historically good.
No, they've struggled to play, especially with some of the teams on the coast. You have Camden Hills, Oceanside, who traditionally been the powers. But things have seemingly changed this year.
Yeah.
With, Oceanside really struggling with both girls and boys programs.
Here, Dominic kind of spread out. Here, yeah, and then when I started coaching, Dominic was kind of like really the bottom of the barrel. The last few years they made it up and they've definitely been competitive, but this has got to be the best season they've had.
Yeah, we were able to see them in summertime up at our Mount Abram tournament, and very impressed with their possession style, attacking soccer. But the other ability too, it's not just one of those things where they play people away. They are looking to score on the attack all the time. They've scored 34 goals this year.
Wow. So far games been back and forth. One of the things I noticed is the football field is, the length isn't bad, but the width is always really small, and that takes a little bit of adjustment usually for teams. And you see it come into play on things like that front, where you can throw it. They went with the short throw there, but it is not hard to throw them right in front of you.
No, your mediocre throw-ins now all of a sudden become what they feel like balls that can go across the goal mouth. So you have to change, almost have to play anything inside the attacking third as a corner.
Yep.
On a throw-in.
And sometimes there's an adjustment on corners too. I know I always try to get the kids out to play practice in the field when I was coaching, because if you have a person who's used to good corners, they're actually going way too far instead of but you have to take a little bit off it in this narrow field.
Come on, KB, get on it!
Run there, right here.
Corner.
Going fast. The freshman. A little bit of a chance for a counter attack from Dominic. Seeing how well the Hornets can project in the back.
Big clear.
19.
Will Smith. Big score for the Panthers.
Hopefully he does not get jiggy with his name.
Davis couldn't even wait for half before he got to the
I've got so
Smith.
As much as I want Leavitt to win, I have a
I
lot
believe
of
that is called low-hanging fruit.
I have a lot of more Will Smith material.
Okay. So you went with the. So you didn't go with your A game at first. Huh?
No. I'm nice deep ball. You want to record? Did you just set about him there? Christian Fullerton tuning in, checking in on the chat. Cheering on the old team. Nice to see you, Christian. Now, Chris, I know you went over this earlier, but a win with all those field goals, that could really push the Hornets up, beyond prelim games, really.
You could get them into a 5 spot, and that 5 spot does get them out of the prelim. And if I remember correctly, the 6 is what they were looking to get to, because I think that 10 teams will make it. So that gets them out of that prelim.
And on the other side, you want to stay in the top 8, so if you do the prelim, you get to host.
Right. And the other part too is, so if you look really quickly, there's a lot of green shirts in the back. So you just saw right there the attacking player. The attacking player actually was pretty physical with the defendant in possession of the ball. So you can see that McDonald does play skillful, but at the same time rather physical game. So one of the things that happened at McDonald the last time was that the Hornets felt there were a few questionable calls that went the way of Madonic. Probably should have maybe some cards even handed out. And so we'll see how the officiating comes into play here, if they call it very tight. So there's no play.
What was the score for the Dome?
It was 3-0, and the goals kind of came at the end. The floodgates opened. Leavitt pushing people up, sacrificing defense for offense to try to get that equalizer, and they gave up 2 at the end. So the game was much closer than the score indicates. The Hornets feel like they have a pretty good chance here on senior night.
Yeah, the other thing too is, from the Badonic perspective, kids always think that they should have scored more goals than they did. So you might be thinking, we beat 3-0, this is going to be easy. You might be able to catch Madonic napping a little bit. Although they've come out solid so far.
Here you can see Smith is garnering a lot of attention as both Chiavelli and Weston, in essence, almost double teaming him, causing the turnover.
Well, the other thing too is, in soccer, size doesn't matter in the sense that some of the best players can be the smaller guys, but if you have somebody that is that kind of size and they also have the skill, it makes them really tough. Because it changes up a little bit who you can even mark him. I mean, I don't know how he is on balls in the air. It's always nice to have those guys on your side that you know are tough match. Couple subs here. Johansson, Taylor Berry checking in.
All 3 skateboarders helped us finish the third
Always nice when you throw it on the side and then it just goes out of bounds for another throw. You can gain a lot of territory really quick. That's a great ball!
Put it in!
Oh, that was a great cross, and Caden was there. He made a really nice run to do that. couldn't put it in.
And that's a nice look too, getting that ball to that far wing. Sometimes you catch a defender ball watching, so I think that's
So far, I mean, we're only about 8 minutes in, but so far this game pretty deep.
chance for him.
Those are on the keeper watch. At least you're making the keeper make a save. Nice steal, nice pass. And run for kick and save. One thing to want to make those through passes, but if you don't have somebody making you run.
And you start to wonder a little bit right now. We found right wing open on the last 2 possessions. Is that something they're going to be able to exploit as the game goes on, or will they start to tighten that up? Again, it's just those things that start to move your defenders around a little bit.
Now, obviously, Madonic has the impressive record, but you did mention the last couple of games, things have been a little bit tighter.
The Panthers have had 2 ties against Morena Cook and Gardner. In the last few games, they've had 3 goals, they've scored 3 goals and given up 1. The games have been tightened up a little bit. At the end of the season too, you start playing with that soccer. Gardner and Morena Cook are both quality players.
Those games, those are teams too. Obviously, we saw Moranka the other day. He doesn't have overtime on that thing, so really which one we can play with them.
And the Gardner Leavitt games have been very tight as well. We're seeing an interesting shift here. Ian Redstone moving up to striker. Garrett God getting a break. So an interesting change, maybe moving up. Get the person with a little bit more height.
Without one of the normal stuff. So maybe they're going to try to rotate some other people up.
And then that might be the idea is that coach there's a chance right off the bat, finding feet. But Coach Conlow's going to have to be a little creative in substitution patterns today. I think he's got a few nagging injuries that he's dealing with.
Ian put that on, but there's nobody there to make the run. Look at that song kick. You can get on offense quick in this football field with a good goal kick.
That's another piece of it. I think you were remarking at the homecoming games. If any of you could hear it. First shot on the second shot on the goal, exactly. Pretty well by but sometimes you can have shots that are taken from the goalie and the defense thinks is a little bit further out than normal. So you think you're getting a shot from because you're on a different field. You look and you say, oh, they're shooting it from 35 yards out. And really not, but balls travel a little bit differently. The angles are different too, so you're not as good as a keeper. And we've seen many goals get scored.
Oh yeah, and then the other thing that happens, particularly in the second half, I don't know if it'll be a factor yet, but the dew starts to form on the field.
Yeah.
So you almost get like those rain conditions that you don't expect. The ball starts really skipping. That can be tough on the goalie. Now you as a goalie, under night conditions, wet conditions, those sorts of situations, did you approach your job differently?
Yeah, you get a lot of pieces, you get as much body behind it as you can.
Right. Which is the same advice I gave to field players too. Don't go for those reaches, the little flicks, keep your whole body behind the ball. Some of the fancy moves don't work as well when things are slick.
And sometimes it is just a ball that's being hit through. and that ball skips by a defender. Here's just what you're talking about.
Yep.
Ball ricochets. Hornets going to get reorganized.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to pin him in here.
First corner of the day.
Heads up playing goal knew that he needed to make that save because he just got off another defender, but he wasn't quite able to.
Bit of a size differential right now for I was going to say, there's a pretty high line that was held by the Hornets, or they was waiting for that touch to, that's an offsides call. Pretty easy one, too.
Despite the size of this field, they do not have a lot of seniors. From just scanning through their lineup.
No, these are two teams that have probably exceeded expectations a little bit, and both coaches have to be looking forward to the fact that there were 4 seniors announced today at senior night, so both teams are looking forward to basically seeing their rosters come right back.
Go, Leavitt!
25 minutes to go here in the first half. So score.
So right now, I've been fooled a couple of times myself by how Madomic has played the ball. They are playing the white line a little bit and realizing it's loose. They're throwing me off a couple of times and the call is now.
Hey, CD!
Right, that's actually can be one of those areas where you get a home field advantage if you pick up a handball or something because they are not aware of the
Throws a ball inbounds.
Yes.
So a chance.
Call a foul. Call the foul? Yes. Call the second. Him firing from deep, bouncing into the goalie left. Take a bid.
Yep, going up. So there's that double team again. Caleb making the initial challenge, ball drops, and Ethan Weston then challenge Smith. Smith goes over his back, here comes the ball. So far, really well organized, finding number 19, making it work.
This is just we have been told that the sound has some issues. I don't know if you want to listen and see. It's muted right now. No, they can hear it, so it just doesn't sound a little weird. So we'll see if our audio expert in Region Terror can work on that. Thank you, Mrs. McMurray, watching at home. I guess we need to talk since he's listening.
So
oh,
great step.
Yeah, that was
Great step. Get someone wide. You got Weston wide. Overlapping.
Weston's in a nice spin move to come away with that. Drops it in. Put it in. Oh,
Played. Weston with a great individual effort and dropping it back and a decent shot on goal again. So again, making the keeper make some saves. As that time goes on, that just as you said, the ball gets more wet.
I want to compliment Caleb Bell on that too, because he was making the perfect run for the far post, and he was right there. If that had bounced off the keeper or had just slid through, he would have been right there to put that in. And I believe Caleb had the winning goal.
He did.
Against Lawrence the other night?
Yeah, it was a double win for Caleb as he picks up the game-winning goal and he scored his first varsity goal. So.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe he's got the taste for it now.
Nice job by KB pushing him wide.
He's 1, and I'm 2. We are still doing the sound check. We like to make, oh, that made it louder. That's a. All right.
So there was a big switch of subs in the Godin brothers. I think we saw Ryan Tebow go back in. So that was there was a kind of a breakdown there. I'm sure Coach Conlow kind of held his breath on. Smith was found right in the middle. They were able to find him, and he luckily was hit one wide. But that is certainly not a guy that you want to have lurking around in the box without a dead. I shouldn't say a dead mark, but with someone at least shadowing him.
Yes, and that is
Blake Springer back in the game as well.
when you've talked about that as your strategy right along, and then you see him open, that is. I'm not a coach who yells at players very often, but that's the time you do. So Christian Keenan is trying to stick with him, although they're kind of handing him off. Yeah, they're not really.
No, I don't think they had a plan of a dead mark on him, but there was that they were going to try to make sure that they found him. Great job, like flattening that drive out. Really well done.
Yeah, that's what you want. You're trying to, now you want to explain for people watching.
So you similar to basketball and hockey, you want to try to start going from to the goal, whether it be a basket or the net. And on that one, Blake was just like holding his water and not taking the first fake and just making him work. And he basically escorted him right from sideline to sideline. We got another little chance here.
Great effort to keep hustling, like surrounded by Nathaniel. So surrounded by Madomic defenders, but he still kept fighting. Actually took 5 of them back there before they finally got it. Yeah, I'm sure with Blake, that is a skill he's learned in hockey. He's a really big hockey player.
And it's hard too because it, like your intuition tells you, I'm close to the goal. I really should probably try to get the ball off his foot. But sometimes just having your body in the way and making that get him away from the goal mouth is what you want to do.
Nice hustle out here. Just stop and look and crossing up the field. It would also seem like maybe that's one of the things they've coached sometimes, changing up the field. So they're definitely looking to do it.
And maybe that's something that Coach Conlow has seen, is that there's a and maybe the wing defenders get sucked in a little bit, because they certainly are going to that right side as much as they can.
On that one there, Trevor was hoping they'd switch it up to the other side. The hand up.
This could be a little bit of
Dangerous cross, but nice play to take it out of there wide. I believe that was Christian Keenan. Although I missed the call here.
I think it's a goal kick. And it's hard too with the numbers that Madomic sends up. It's hard that if you're looking, you've seen 24 Godin, and I can't quite get the number on the right wing, but both wings are having to come back and slide into play defense, and so now it becomes harder for your mids and even strikers to like find those wings. That again, the ball that is easy is that run right there, the longer one, and you hope you can get some space or you hope you can connect, but it's harder to build that attack up because you've had to devote your wings back on D.
Right.
This could be a bit of a problem.
And that's also too where if you do want a long clear, you pretty much have to send up the middle because Garrett's the only one there. You send him that long ball, and he obviously has some speed. And the report is the sound is much better. Credit to Jamie Gentera.
It's a tough ball. Smith in front.
Yeah, it's dangerous. They had defenders all around him, but he still managed to get up.
And, you know, we spoke about that with Mayhew last week. Liam Mayhew of Leavitt. You know, goal scorers don't need a ton of space. And especially shooters. I guess that maybe that's a better way of putting it. That, you know, I wouldn't make out like Lionel Messi as a tremendous shooter, but his work rate is unbelievable. So maybe a better example would be Ronaldo doesn't need a lot of space to find the opening to let one go.
There's Garrett. Using that speed. Yeah, and I think those players too, and Leah is probably very similar to Smith on this one. They've been marked so much that you get used to it, and you
Sure.
know you're not going to get much chance when you get the ball. Left to go. First half. Leavitt's Dean students. Christina Iman is watching the stream.
It's glad to have. The pressure is on now, right? Because feedback on Monday on
Yes, on our performance.
with our.
I welcome it. I welcome the criticisms. That was a really dangerous situation right there.
And you start to see Modomic starting to get their shape just a little bit,
Yeah.
and they're starting to feel a little bit more confident.
Yeah, you don't want that ball there. And there was some really nice passing outside the Dominic to be able to bring it in from the corner.
Right. And so I think right now this is one of those times where you feel like you're getting a lot of goal kicks, you're getting a lot of possessions starting in your defensive third. You hope that you can maybe put something together, and this is one of those times where we talked about in the the Maranacook game. Just sometimes you just kick it to the other side of the field just to get your shape back, get organized, make them work it all the way back up.
Because what you don't want to have to do too many times is...
There we go. Here's the settle. Now, can he find...
Oh, nice ball. Again, we've got some speed up there when we get some chances. But come back the other way. What you don't want to have to do is that kind of frantic defense at the top of the 18
Right.
win. And it's, you know, it's the defense you want to see in that situation, but you don't want that to come up too many times because eventually your lottery ticket's not going to work out.
Intended for Caleb. He'll have to clean this up.
Yeah, he definitely was making a point to contain.
And it's one of those things, too, is that at a higher level, a college level, and certainly anything professional, you know, containing is really, really important. But players get better, and players make, you know, more sophisticated runs. I think it's a sound defensive tactic in high school soccer, because I think you make players make plays, and you challenge them to make creative runs or make a really great pass or a difficult shot.
Yeah, Because the better players love when people don't contain.
Correct.
And a lot of times, it's not some fancy move. They wait till you to make it. It's just a quick sidestep, whatever direction you don't go.
And it's that one little opening that we talked about with, great shooters just need to see that one little sliver of light, or net as it would be.
Part of it is also depending on where you are in the field. So I don't think you mind as much seeing a forward step. Oh, meanwhile, here's Blake.
Ooh,
Cut through
24.
You don't mind seeing your forwards sometimes reaching, stabbing, doing something, because if they get a steal there,
Right.
you're on offense.
And one of my philosophies always was like assume the miss. I was not trying to be disparaging to all the defenders, but lots of defenders struggle with pressure. And there's a reason why they're playing defense. They're not used to having pressure, having to dribble the ball out. Springer in front, and and the Hornets will get a corner out of that. But I think you can make them make some plays. You can make them make some decisions, and just as you said, sticking a foot out, having to make the, choose a clear over a pass is always a win for you. Big spot here for a corner if they could get one.
That might have been the kick that I talked about. On a wider field, that kick is back post. On the narrow field, it kind of carried over.
And you're starting to see a little bit more with some pushes off of the ball.
Yeah, I think they're settling on both teams.
Right. Great win.
Just battling back and forth. Trying to get that
Ethan
ball
run
cleared
through.
out.
Oh, bad bounce. Oh.
Nice calm play there by the Mnemonic defender, and then to switch up the field.
A little too much time on this.
It's nice
That was a
when-
big win.
Yeah. Going back to that play from a minute ago, it's nice when the defenders can make smart passes to set up the offense and not always just, send it back where it came from.
And that's the thing that is the subtle sophistication when you start to watch like a Premier League game or anything in college, that the defenders really do start the offense.
Crowd happy with the call there. The crowd's been fairly quiet. We have a decent crowd here for the game, but there haven't been a lot of plays that have been fired up.
No. Either way,
Right.
either way, there's been a couple of chances, but both goalies have been up to them, and it's been relatively quiet in terms of rough play.
I wonder if perhaps when the girls show up, isn't it? Taking a bid again. I wonder when the girls come, if they arrive at the game.
It does crank things up. It does crank things up a little bit when you get some of your friends here. And like I said, this is always a hard draw when you have, both girls, field hockey and soccer were away, football's away. So, but it's a great opportunity to play a quality side on in a night game, and it does give you that little boost anyways, just to be under the lights.
Yep. And I know if it's close and the crowd gets loud, it doesn't matter if you're talking little kid level to professional level. The crowd makes a difference. I mean, you see it at every level of every sport. The home teams win.
And the closer these games seem, and I think it's partially because of your stands are like right on top of you, it starts to get more intense on the field. Mm-hmm. One of the best moves by Mr. LaRoche was to move the benches onto the visiting side and keep the fans. There's been a few games that I've coached that fans are actually yelling either at me or one of my kids. So
Yes, I had a similar experience.
It's a big play by Ethan. Another one.
Leavitt's playing really good defense in that back there, but
10 is a little unmarked. Tough ball.
it's going to be a Hornet throw. Any chance to get some people up, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like Coach Conlow was pretty satisfied with the pace of the game right now. Not, you know, he didn't, just what you said, getting some people up, not rushing this. You know, I don't want to say he's slowed it, but he certainly is not quickly throwing it, trying to get it in. They're looking for someone. Christian being able to keep it in. This is,
Nice wide. Danny. Puts it back.
oh, just a little bit strong. They do a nice job. Madamic does a nice job of countering.
Nice play there by was Coleman Swain and Adamic.
We talk a lot too. You know, look about the weight of the pass, and in that situation of, you know, how hard you have to hit it. Sometimes you want a little bit less.
Right. Give them something they can handle.
Right. And then sometimes you really have to drive it. Second corner kick for the Panthers. Well cleared out.
Subs trickling in and out. 5 minutes, 12 seconds left to go. Now Ventura, I don't know if we're gonna get any crowd shots. Maybe we could put Elliott with the camera at halftime. No. Not Elliott. Something, you know, to mix it up with the viewers. We can still be giving the commentary, but you can get it, you know, give the fans at home a look at what things really look like here.
So one of the moves that Madamic seems to favor is basically I guess you could call it a reversal. They'll work really hard to drag you to one side, then either step on or just cut it back really hard. And so that's a good sign that the Hornets are trying to contain, but it's also something that it relatively can be an easy move to break up, and you could tackle. So as time goes on, we'll see if they can break a few of those up.
Yeah. And they seem
And what the go-to move is after that. You know,
Yeah.
if that's move number one, you know, where they go to after. There it is again. So really nice changes of direction.
And a lot of those changes of direction are right on the ground too. And yes, it's good passing, but I can see you're going to get a chance to steal some of those, especially if you can anticipate. But as you said, there's not a lot of people up, and maybe on that one, you're just sending a long ball up to your one forward.
And that's been right now what they've been able to get. But I do think that, you know, Madamic does. This could be tricky.
Lane's coming out. Now we really need to get that out with the goalie on net, but he quickly retreats
He
back.
does, yeah. And I think that because Madamic sends a lot of kids up on the attack, I think there is some ability for the Hornets to kind of, I don't want to say hold in the middle, but I think that they could hold the ball a little bit. Like, here's a good example. Let some numbers get up, hold it again. Now the green's got to get up there. We're kind of jogging back to There, now you've got a little bit of thing percolating here.
Reed,
Good
nice.
effort by Reed. Now you got something going. Can he get on his horse? He can.
Trevor, nice ball. Oh, we would have liked to see somebody crash there a little bit sooner on the goalie. That got the crowd fired up to cheer on the senior. He deserved cheers.
Oh, there's your wet ground, Mr. Davis.
Yes. When you've had enough of these night games, you've kind of seen the script before. you see.
Now this will be interesting. Oh, he called it a throw. I wondered if that ball was actually out of bounds.
Oh, when he picked it up.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Ryan Tebow, a nice deep throw down the line.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, very well hit ball.
Well, two things in that play right there. One, like you said, a very well-struck ball, but also after the play, Ethan Westman's just run down. He just straight up run down.
Yeah.
So.
And he's been all over the field tonight.
And Ethan does play with, you know, he plays pretty fearless, so he generates a lot of contact, so he's used to that. But at the same time, you know, it's a pretty physical challenge on off the ball, and we'll get that one.
We are down in the last 40 seconds here, if you're wondering. Crowd yelling something, but I'm not sure exactly what they're upset about.
Keep that one in. Nope.
We're down to 20 seconds. They're going to have time to get this set up, however.
And they're going to pack the net.
Oh, they went with the short kick.
That actually worked really into the favor of the Hornets, possibly.
5 seconds to go. They've got to get something going. It's a big throw. And he cleared all and it's out. There we go. We have made it to the half. And I wouldn't quite say that Hornets survived. It wasn't that much pressure, but they're happy. Happy to have the break right now.
Yeah, I think, and I think the other thing too is I think they've weathered a couple of storms, but at the same time they've had a couple of looks on net, and they certainly have seen some progress on that right side. I think they've probed that a little bit, and I think you're starting to see that there's a possibility of, you know, maybe finding something there in the second half, especially as you said on some of the crosses or shots that I don't know if you know, the defenders are getting sucked in a little bit. So it appears, Mr. Davis.
Oh, we have got some entertainment lined up here. It looks like. Now, what age group would you say these guys are? We have some little kid soccer.
We have some little ones, and then we also have some that look like they maybe just came out of the JV game. So it could be.
Yeah, I'm unclear the ages here, but they are ready to play, and the ball's in. Oh, and now the slippery ground's really making into play for these guys. They don't have the same cleat preparation. Green team, and is that black or? Like
I think it was black. I think it was black when I was out in the parking lot.
I did not know this was going to happen. We're deciding what to cover right now.
You're gonna throw it at him.
Are we?
So here we are in the fan section at the boys' night game. I want you all to know you're on Buzz Media right now. Can you give it a Buzz Media woo or a hi? Woo! Yeah, boys soccer game, here we are. Let's see, who do I want to sit with and chat with? Oh, yeah, that's what happened. You want to sit? I'll sit and chat with you. There we go.
Get in there. Where's Garrett? He's a good one to chat.
Oh no,
Wait,
you're waving
kidding.
me down. Oh,
No,
too
I was
late.
totally kidding.
That's too
Okay.
bad. Oh, you almost dropped these. So, Who do you belong to?
Christian. Number 14.
Christian Keenan, do you have any advice for your son tonight?
Play hard. Don't give up.
Did you hear that, Christian? Do not give up. If he gives up, does he eat tonight?
Well, no. Dinner.
There we go. No food. No food for you, Christian. No food. Here we go. Hey, who are we cheering for tonight? I don't actually know if I'm doing this right. Here we go. Who are you cheering for tonight?
Blaine.
Blaine?
Yeah.
Nice. Anything, any special reason why you're cheering for Blaine? No, just Blaine. That's cool. No one else? There's a whole team out there. Come on, seriously. Kendra, how about you? Oh, wait.
I'm just here because they are. I don't really like soccer.
Oh! We're going to leave Kendra alone. That's not going to be good for the live stream. Hi, what's your name?
Heather.
Heather. Do you play soccer, Heather?
Yes.
Cool. Are you liking the game so far?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. So you're a soccer player. What advice would you give the boys right now?
They just need a goal. Sorry.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Not sure. How about score a goal? Do you think that'd be good advice? Yeah. All right, Hornets, score a goal. Here we go. Oh, I will get her. Okay, here we go. Oh, we're going back up the stairs. Hey, Callie. Hey, I was told I have to get you, which is weird.
Yeah.
So why do I have to get her?
Because you asked what we were cheering for and you did.
So who are you cheering for?
Zach.
Number 15?
Yeah.
Nice, Zach.
Yeah.
Zach, I hope you watch this later. Callie is rooting for you. Let's see. Are you all here for this game? Can I hear a woo woo for this game? Woo! Oh, McKenna Redstone, come right over here. Let's take a seat, McKenna, because you have updates. So you are really bundled up right now. So update, it's cold, folks. I don't think it's as cold as McKenna looks, but so McKenna, you were just at the girls' game. How did that game go?
We lost 3-0.
That is disheartening. That's not the news I was hoping for. I'm not going to ask you why you thought you lost. I don't want to rub salt in the wound right now. So you just got here. Is there any advice you would give the boys right now, even though you haven't seen any of the game? But you've seen how about direct advice to your brother? You've seen him play for many a times.
I don't know. Shoot.
Shoot! Just shoot, buddy. Just shoot, Ian. All right, we'll let you be. Let's see. Who else? Oh, too late. You said no. Bella Canaboris, you're trying to hide. You can't hide from the lens of Buzz Media. Bella, who are you cheering for tonight?
Connor Grant.
Connor Grant. I hope you hear that, Connor.
He's not going to watch this.
I will make him watch it. I can do that. Oh, wait, I got a Springer. I used a Springer on Buzz Media.
Oh, man.
So, Mom,
Yeah.
what would you tell Blake to do better?
Oh.
Or
I
do?
don't really
Just
know.
do. I don't know.
Going.
Just keep, don't stop. Oh,
Right.
you just saw a little version of me pop in there for a second.
Your mini.
My mini. Just keep going, Blake.
Yep.
Don't give up. Let's see. Where do I want to go? You know what? I think that's going to be it for right now. I hope you enjoy the rest of the little kids game, which is right out there, or should I say the future big kids game. That was it for the halftime show. We will see you later.
We're back on the little kid soccer. Maybe we can zoom way in so if there's parents at home, they can actually see their kid. Hopefully the parents who can't be here are able to see it. We have had at least one goal. Green team playing some good defense there. Oh! He did get the save. Now Green's coming flying back the other way. Breakaway. Oh, decent shot. Stars of Leavitt future on the field. Very back and forth little game.
No, okay, get in the shot. Ball boys, ball boys. This is always the problem with ball boys. Ball boys, how do you feel the game is going right now?
It's doing good. Very nice.
So you guys are soccer players. That's why you're out here in the pink ball boy jersey. What advice would you give your teammates?
Find the left more often.
Find the left more often.
Switch a bit. But
Switch a bit.
put more shots on.
They're doing great. Let's put some shots on. That's excellent. That's straight from the ball boys. That's straight from the field. We will see you later.
Actually, no.
And we are back. We've been witnessing the halftime entertainment. Really, Deter's kind of like the fall halftime entertainment. The basketball, it's usually Chris Gray who we send out to do.
He actually has a full-on halftime show.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. With contests and
Right.
everything but a t-shirt cannon.
We need a t-shirt.
That may need to be in the budget at some point.
That wouldn't be fun. That'd just be fun.
So, here we go. Just about to start second half, 0-0. Looks like Dom coach is helping clean out the clean. Just keep. Thoughts on the second half?
Well, the shots were 4-3 in favor of the Panthers. We had a 3-1. Madomic Valley enjoyed the 3-1 advantage in corners. Aiden Starr, the goalie of Madomic Valley, actually had to make 2 saves. We got Blaine down for 1. Fairly clean game. We only had 3 total fouls in the half. So I think the biggest part will be is again, can Leavitt hold up defensively in the back, and can they find some type of crack in that?
Madomic D.
Yeah.
It's actually really impressive considering how much time it was down there, how few shots they actually got off.
Right.
Great job by the midfielders and the defense. Or would be one way for the Hornets to get.
That's a great find. Now do they have someone? It's Reed Johansson.
Oh.
KB trying to keep it alive.
That's good, and I'd say that one way they could get good opportunities off a corner kick or direct, but that was just in play.
So again, although the offense started on this left-hand side, look, again, Johansson getting in on that back side. He's got a mark, but he's giving him a lot of space, especially on this little field. So that goes back to your point of, you know, you've on a true 120-yard field, you think you've got it, you know, you've got him covered.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be an interesting switch, just noticing Daniel Schiffelli has been brought back to play defense. So Caleb has been dealing with some nagging injuries. And so whether it be the weather perhaps or just in, you know, precautionary measures.
Oh, great save.
That's a great save.
And
now they got to clear this out.
It was a great save, and then it was also a really nice job knocking down the shot. I'm not sure if that was Christian at the top of the 18.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to see a lot of opportunities like that. Really impressed with how well though they contain and they fight to block shots, get their body in front of somebody once it gets back inside.
It is pretty fearless.
Jason's a nice long ball up.
Zach can get here. He's got Joe. Oh,
yeah, you're thinking he might go to Reed right
I
out
thought
there.
he might have gone to Johansson on that one, but he thought he had Bell maybe on a one-on-one. This could be a bit of a problem. Oh.
Everybody's starting to slip now. Oh, Will's Smith open for a moment there, but he's knocked it out.
Is that ball gonna roll enough? It won't. No, this could be.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
That deflection was dangerous. Already in this first 4 minutes, a lot more action and opportunities than we saw in the first half. Things are starting to open up.
And a little bit of that about that is the struggles in trying to clear the ball.
Right.
This should help a little bit.
Yeah, it was
now that you can.
It was a nice clear. He's hoping it would just hang on that sideline and give a chance for Caleb to run it down, but.
Too easy.
Really nice ball slide into the middle, and there.
So there's too much time. Like they had too many times to touch the ball, and then when they slid that out, easy. We had lost. And again, we had talked about not losing 19, and you just slipped through.
And there was 11 defenders there.
So there's too much time. Like they had
at least two Madonic players that were running, crashing in. Actually, you probably just saw that in the replay. Now the Hornets are going to need to generate some offense. Garrett, great hustle there. At least slowing down the Madonic counterattack. We've seen it several times already. Garrett's got that really fast sprint speed. If he can get in the opportunity, even if he's equidistant with the defender from Madonic, I think he can beat him. But so far, it's been him using that speed to come up from behind. That might be a place where we can get some offense. We do need to put the goal up on the board.
Not entirely sure what that foul was. I'd assume it was offsides, but
We had against Lawrence tonight. Lawrence was pulling the offside trap, which was very frustrating for the Hornet girls. Leading to many times of them looking at the ref, not happy with the call, when in fact from up here in the booth you could see most of the time they were offside. Here's a corner.
it's a good idea to play to feet right now. You really don't have anyone open that big.
Yeah, and we had some numbers come up the middle of the field when the dog managed to knock it out of bounds, get a chance to.
And I think we've,
set.
and one of the things is at the start, they had a lot of their success, and just even the start of this half, success coming off of that wing. That now we get it.
I think I nice job using this. Use this body there. Yeah. We have a few different chances, but one way or another we're going to have to get some offense. At some point, and not yet, but at some point it may be just starting to get a little more risky too. Take some chances with sending people up.
And I think this is similar to what happened in the last game. It's just, it's not, you don't feel like the game is slipping away from you, but you just feel like, it's you have to mount this amazing run down the sideline, and then you're getting one shot at it. And so I think that, that, I don't want to say they're pressing yet. I mean, we're only 30, we have 32, we have over a half hour left to go in this thing. So I think you don't want to, start sacrificing a lot of defense just to get some looks. But at the same time, you do have to start probing them a little bit more again on the, somewhat, maybe on the outside. This
It's a dangerous one. Long ball to Smith, but defender once again got it deflected.
and that's a good sign that, having him shoot that shot. If he's going to shoot something, he shoots it, from 25 plus out on his left foot, running away from the goal. You score that one, you tip your hat and say, congratulations, man. That's a tough shot to make.
You did notice that Caleb Barabie's back after not starting the half.
Like I said, it could have been precautionary. It's cold out. You might have tightened up.
Oh. That was a nice finish there by number 8. Coleman Swain. We get the replay. It was crossed over and then headed a little bit further over by Madomic. You're probably noticing that you saw the replay before we talked about it, but that's because we have a lag on our computer here. But yeah, it was just a long cross, headed over, and then he was able to pop it in. And have 2-0. There's still plenty of time, as we talked about. But kind of a dangerous time here for the Hornets.
And this becomes, we talked about this with the Miranda Cook girls game at homecoming. The 2-0 lead is one of the most dangerous leads to hold in all of sports, because as the coach, you're not sure if you should try to attack and get that third one, because a quick goal by Leavitt, and now it's only a 1-goal game again. So it really is it's a hard one to play. And it looks like right now Madomic wants the third one. And again, seriously, they've been pretty successful with their recipe so far. So
really, yes, aggressive, but momentum is so big. If the Hornets can find a way to break
Right.
through, suddenly, and not just because of the goal, but you'll see both teams will dramatically change their play. We saw that in that girls' game where they were up 3-0 and controlling the field, and then They gave up one goal and ended up just fighting to hold on. That was a nice strike there. Believe with a good save.
You know, the good win.
So we're shifting Ian up.
Yeah.
Foul on Weston.
Yep.
And
Didn't get quite high enough to, it sounds funny, to go over his back, so when he did try to get that one, he
yeah.
kind of invaded his verticality.
Verticality?
There you go.
Not a word that I even knew existed, but I will try to use now regularly. Ian sends a nice ball.
That's
up.
a great ball. Can he run onto it? Continue to pressure him.
Still there, still fighting, keeping it there. Ladu. Knocks off the face of the Madonna player. Hunter. That was Danny closing in on the other side, but step or two away.
That's a really hard thing to do. I mean, it's almost impossible. I mean, it is impossible to defend that. Like, if that keeper can continue to hit the ball to the Leavitt 35 every time.
Right. It makes it really hard to pin a team in.
Yeah.
Once you just build up your offense, now you're back on D.
Right. And you're asking defenders to hit a ball that obviously it's screaming at you, and it usually at a tough angle. Could have argued that number 1 did not have his mouth guard in, but whoa.
Called the dangerous
Yep.
play there. And they could have found it. We're seeing a few things. They may have decided that was contact on both sides. Lane scoops it up.
Pretty nice ball.
He sent a nice one as well. Distance-wise, that went just as far. The Madonna keeper there also sky high.
Oh, got to keep that one a little bit closer. Oh, Weston was able to clean it up.
Weston, I'm really impressed watching him play. I like the physical style, and despite that foul, when you're on the smaller side like Ethan, you can get away with those pushing. He seems to know the boundaries pretty much of what he can get away with. With the exception of that one over the top.
And that one wasn't a bad, and that was, that wasn't a bad bid, and he also probably thought that his opponent was gonna try to go for the header as well. So here's another one of those potentially long throw once it turns into a corner kick. Not as deep as I would have expected.
Body's down with the ball. And Zach's going to send it out.
Literally a hold on number 6. Literally just a hold.
Ethan's got the ball
And that's
there.
an easy one. Yep, he's going to let him play. And then he's going to give. Good call.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Davis, you want to take advantage?
Yeah, well, we, as you probably saw on the camera, you were screaming for a foul, but Ethan was still on his feet and charging in. But Once it rolled away from him to the Madonic defender.
So the official, right? So the official does have the right. It's one of the best parts of reffing soccer. If you think that the foul, here's a chance.
Oh.
That the official has a right to say that he thought that the foul did not cause an advantage, and he has, a couple of seconds to let that play pan out. And when the ball did get away from Ethan, he then whistled it dead and gave them the direct kick.
I was just going to ask that follow-up question of how long you can go. So because Ethan still had a dribble or two before it came away. So now they're actually passing it back to the keeper.
And
it's dangerous on this wet field. Pulling it back to his feet like that.
Any turn on this one?
Keep me in a nice play, but I'm not sure I want my defense passing back to the goalie tonight. Getting some subs and looking around.
He has a chance. Can he turn it back middle?
Couldn't get it in. You saw Trevor Godden actually was sitting right around the PK line, hoping to get a bid, make his senior night memory.
Gotta go. So one of the things, and again, this is a little officiating thing, and there's another one. There's a lot of stuff that happens off the ball, and you can tell kids who play travel because there's a lot of things like grabbing a shirt, hooking an arm, or in the last play that we just saw, Ethan was taken down, and legs were wrapped around him so he couldn't get back up. So little things like that, and it's really hard, too, when you only have two officials officiating the game to see all of those things. If you have a linesman, he's watching the offsides, but he can also pick up on some of those things and can communicate that out to the guy in the middle to see if they can clean that up.
Yeah. And I'd imagine, knowing that you usually don't have that. Oh, slid. Ian saves it in. He's going to go to Springer, see if he's going to launch one from out deep.
Wow, it is getting really damp in the middle. Yep.
On both sides.
Yep, yeah. Most players' families' budgets are about the same as ours. Your kid may have 2 pairs of cleats, so it's not like you can go to the locker room and get your longer cleats to dig in a little bit.
Right. Going back to what you were talking about before, as the ref, when you suspect that sort of thing's happening, but you're not seeing it because you're watching the ball.
That's the hard part.
I mean,
you hope your partner might pick up on it.
And I know as a coach, I would tell my captain, I mean, we have a speaking captain, and that's the kind of time you need to communicate to them. Not yelling at the ref, but just tell them, hey, sir, can you watch, they're pulling our shirts away from the play. And I found that usually refs were very responsive to that, more so than some coaches.
I think
that scream at the ref.
And I think that's I mean, I can tell you as a yellow shirt now that's if you talk to me about what you've seen, what's frustrating you, I'm going to be more willing to talk to you, have a conversation than you yelling it. Or insinuating that I'm deliberately not making that call. So I think that's the big part of it, because, no official is intentionally going to let stuff go by.
As we tick down to about 20 minutes, Hornets fighting hard.
Got to start thinking about that goal, and at least I'd like to have that first one in by maybe 12. You almost cut this in half at this point. Can we score one in the first 10? And then that second 10, then we can make that decision. Mm-hmm. And again, just what you said earlier, if we could find a couple of corner kicks, if we could find a couple of dead balls, maybe even some long throws. But right now, the back four of the Panthers has really made things difficult. A little bit too. And there's the weight of the pass again. So intention was 100% correct, but the pressure provided by Madomic, made him get rid of that a little bit earlier than he would have liked, and a little stronger than he would have liked. But and the other thing too is, in terms of like looking at this from a perspective of, Hornet faithful. Leavitt's played 2 really good teams in the last week. And, a team that's undefeated and a team, as you've said, is the perennial power of Class and now C, and they've been in all the games. So they've got to be kind of, Can he keep that in? He can. Oh, but he can't stand up. So slippery. That was one we got away with right there. Quick counter.
Yeah, and you talked about it too, that the end of the year, soccer starts to get better. Teams have been playing for a while. This starts to become playoff soccer. And
yeah.
These are the kind of teams you can play. This is the quality team you can play.
Man, I learned a lot from about coaching. There we go. Is one of his comments was, when you get to the playoffs, nobody stinks.
Right.
Nobody stinks. So you're playing all good teams, and this potentially could be a team that Leavitt would play if they were, in a prelim, won the prelim. They could play them again. So.
And while Madomic's really good, I don't think we wouldn't be scared. You never want to be in that situation where you're kind of outclassed up in the field. I think we both coached teams before where the team you're playing in the playoffs is much better than you.
There was a year we played a triple overtime game against, I believe, Lake Region, and we lost. And this was with the girls, and I was very, very upset, kind of, excuse me, bummed out. I had one of the parents come over and say, "Why don't you let Lake Region go play Greeley and get beat by 8?" So there's an offsides. So, and it's one of those things of looking at it from a perspective of, what is that next round game? And so just what you're saying, I think Leavitt's going to feel pretty confident about whoever they would meet up with in the playoffs. I don't think anyone has really separated themselves like a Lewiston does in Class A. It's a great call. It's a great call. I know, I've refed with Don, who's on the far side, Donnie Plord, and he is. He tells me right when we start, if I see hands go up on someone's back, that's getting whistled. So if he whistles that one, you can just start moving up the field that he had that one. Hayden Tittle's our other official. He actually comes from North Carolina. Played, I want to say D2 soccer, and is an accomplished official. He has a chance.
Nope, that's getting a throw in there from with the football yardage. You can tell that's from the 20. It's like Ian's going to take it. Just 16 minutes to go. Now, I don't believe anybody listening to this is going to know about this game because this is from a long time ago, Coach. But your last year coaching boys soccer, do you remember the night game at Mount Blue?
Was that when we scored with like 2 seconds left?
On the throw-in, yes. It was a freezing cold game. I was the JV coach. It was the only year I coached JV with you.
Here's a chance with Weston.
And down against Mount Blue late, freezing cold game. Everyone's kind of blankets on the bench. There were snowflakes falling. And I don't remember who the player was. Someone took a big, deep throw, and I think Matt Justin Maloney.
He did.
Him with 2 seconds to go.
He did. Yeah, we had everybody in the box, including the goalie. And that was a season we struggled in Class A, so that was we did not make the playoffs. Oh, I think everyone made the playoffs, so it saved us from playing one of the stronger teams, and I I think we got stuck playing Marshwood, which still was not exactly easy. But, yeah, memorable games like that. And, again, the last-second throw-in and corner kicks can always be memorable events. We had one as well against Gardner with the girls' team, and Becca Fogg scored literally with 0.4 seconds left. So
we'd love to see an exciting finish to this one, but the Hornets got to get that first goal.
it's a good step by Christian. So he's moved Weston up out of a midfield position to a striker position. Oh.
And
Good
now
step
just
by
a
Christian.
Nice cross in the middle and then finished by
Yep, and a little bit too much space. There's just a little bit too much space on that. And
Ian Dowdy from Madomic was the one that put it in.
And I think one of the things that you're seeing with Madomic that give them credit is comparable to like some of the other teams that the Hornets have played. They finish very, very well.
Yeah, and very calmly.
Yeah.
In high school, oftentimes you'd see somebody blast that one over the top of the net.
Right.
He knew that he just had to put the ball on the ground. He didn't even really hit it particularly hard. Just a nice solid.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that again, that just what you said shows some composure. Probably has a reason why they scored over 35 goals this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other thing too is, with some injuries and player, the player availability today, some people are playing out of position, and so I think there's been some disjointedness in the, people making runs and, some kids who haven't been, found a lot of varsity minutes and, the crunch time of games have been playing a lot today. So.
And you just get the other thing on those runs is the chemistry of playing together,
right?
And knowing,
right?
Sometimes some of the best combinations I ever coached were kids that had played together since. Oh, dangerous situation here. Nice to play by Lee. Some of the best combos I ever had were kids that had played together since they were 5, 6 years old, and they knew all the tendencies of each other. I think back to like Tyler Kenny and Kenny Marr and some of those guys that have been playing together forever. They knew exactly what the other person was thinking. So it takes a little bit of time to build that. So somebody hasn't been playing.
Right, and this is a big spot against a very good team. Great step by Christian.
Hornets are playing hard. That third goal looks like it may have deflated them a little bit too.
Well, it's just your margin of error is smaller now, and ooh, that was almost a fourth.
Yeah, and the reality of a 3-0 game with 12 minutes to go can set in a little bit. Meanwhile, for Madomic, you're just starting to. There's a lot of guys who want to tee off and try to get their chance.
And I think the other thing too is that I think Hornets would just like to see themselves get at this point, break through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, scoring a goal against a really quality defensive goalie.
Yep. And I think they still have a tough game left with Waterville next Tuesday, and it's on the road. It'll be at their place, it just makes for a difficult, final game of the season. But I think you'd rather play them than some of the weaker teams in the KVAC moving towards the playoffs.
And Waterville, I'm just checking here. A quality team, but also not quite up to the level of
No, and because they had fallen on some tough times for a while. Waterville had, and so they're I think they're young, but again with still the still worth some points, and you'd like to play well going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
That might have been a handball.
What number 6 just did there for Madonna was really smart. He was playing literally with his back right on the line out of bounds, so he could keep the ball in front of him and immediately play it in.
And then that's another one that feels foreign to you when you're doing it, because why would you don't think about turning your back to the sideline, but it does help you so much in being able to keep that ball in bounds and then have options too. You open yourself up to 4 or 5 different options as opposed to basically playing backwards or playing just forward.
Are you a dangerous throw in Dominic? William runs it down though. There's Weston over there. Weston is putting some. If he was wearing some sort of step monitor, he would have a lot of steps. I know you watch like the World Cup games, they'll tell you how far a player runs in the course of the game. Ethan's covered a lot of territory in this field.
He has, and there's been a, and it's like I said earlier, it hasn't been necessarily dirty, but it's been certainly a physical game, and so that it's a good move.
Oh. It almost took it out. Yeah, I'm impressed. Both teams have been physical, but I haven't seen anything dirty. Although some of those travel team.
It's a great save.
Those travel team moves, like you said, of the pulling the shirts and those things are really frustrating to play against. But nothing like cheap shots that get anybody hurt.
No, nothing that should have been risen to the level of a card necessarily, or. And the other part, too, is we don't know if there's been some verbal warnings. Referees don't have to administer a card. They can just sometimes look and say, 13, that's enough. We're done. And that's and for some kids, that's that's all they need is just the kind of being abrupt with them.
Now, with the new yellow card rule this year, once they receive 2 yellow cards, they sit out a game?
Yes. Yep. And
how does that work in the playoffs? Do they
yeah,
over?
Yeah, yep. So there's a famous story that has been told numerous times of how an official did not properly administer the card in the system. Did it too late, and a player actually played in a game that he shouldn't have. So then he ended up having to sit out the playoff game. So it's incumbent upon the officials to make sure that they enter the pertinent information to the MPA as soon as possible, so that ADs can get that information out to coaches. And he's a little build up.
Just a wall of white in front of him over. Now, does every yellow card count towards the suspension, including like a mouth guard or uniform? Yep. Okay. Seven minutes to go. We're mounting a little bit of offense here. Very calmly sliding that out. Blake sort of looking to build an attack.
There's a possibility.
Keep him hard.
He did go hard.
Blake sort of looking to build an attack.
There's a possibility.
I have another referee question for you. When it comes to challenging the ball, where are you looking at for a ref? Do you give more weight on, like, say, a corner kick for a goalie to use?
Oh, it'll be more physical coming out?
More physical than you would a field player?
I think all referees kind of do try to protect the keepers. So I think there's that part, and the other thing too is I think when you are looking at it for the situation, and again you do try to look at what is the advantage gained by this particular physical challenge. Was it to play the ball and it was physical? That's kind of what I think happened on that one. KB wanted the scoring opportunity, and the keeper came out pretty strong. We're gonna get another. Ooh, I thought we were gonna have another chance, but on the other hand, did the
He's going to smartly wait. Martin's being smart here, actually trying to not just pound the ball forward, going back on some of the throw-ins, because you don't get so many people back. It's just drilling it forward is not going to get you anything.
And I think too, again, this is kind of we're moving Ryan up out of the back on this one. Let's see if they can.
Very solid defense from Adamic.
Yeah.
Just at all levels, anywhere in their half of the field, really. I haven't been on a lot.
That's a great call. That's a really good call. Like you said, we've had some chances, but there hasn't been that like heart in your throat type of chance that we've kind of come accustomed to once in a while, that we'll have a breakaway. Maybe here's one. It's a good ball.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
It's been a little more aggressive here.
And a certain point too, like again, when you have a team that has only given up 6 goals all season, sometimes you'd like to just like break through, just to be able to say, of the 6 goals, we had one of them.
Yeah.
And it's almost a mindset thing. And if you can score on a team that's only given up 6 when you play York, Yarmouth, it's a pretty good fight over there. So what's on tap for Buzz Media the rest of the way? Or do you is it the potential playoff games for field hockey, might it be, or is it going to probably be the Morris Leavitt football game?
I don't know if we have a plan for the field hockey game, to be honest with you. I know that we can live stream it. Do we know yet when they play?
I do not.
So we will have to be on there. We definitely are planning to cover the football game though next Friday against Morris. And the other thing on tap for Buzz Media is we are going to be starting to produce some more news type broadcasts during the day, and those will be broadcasts for the students, perhaps.
A Buzz Media original?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. I know that there is the hallway competition coming up with the door decorating, penny war to raise funds for the outdoor center up in North Turner there from the Varneys, and we talked about maybe they can run a daily tally update for people to watch just to see what the scores. A nice shot.
They do a nice job, and again, you're talking about Madomec shooting, they do a very nice job of trying to go back post for things.
Yeah. change in keeper. I'm not sure who the new keeper is for the Hornets. Trevor Henderson. As the only senior, he's been the only one in his class, but has contributed great to the program over the last 4 years. Would have been nice to see him get a chance to score one tonight, but he's had a good game. We do still have 30 seconds left here. Maybe Trevor can get a last second bid. Subbing. Trevor's nice and wide out here on the right by himself. The ball comes across. But the keeper's going to scoop it up with 12 seconds to play.
That should be do it. He's going to wait till that gets down to with that kick.
We haven't seen the keep making a little plays, but I've been impressed with him just what we have seen. Obviously, those big kicks. There it is. There's a 3-0 game for Dominic. Not the result we wanted, but good, well-played game.
Yeah, and I think again, there's a lot of things for Leavitt to take away from that. They did have some opportunities. I think they found some success in, as you said, changing the fields, some of the big crosses, having people on the backside. And they for the first half they worked, made Dominic work extremely hard. And I think you look at some of the, maybe almost miscommunication on some of those goals on who should have marked. But I think, moving forward, I think the Hornets are going to be in, good spirits. I think they are, looking around at the teams that they might have to be in the prelim with. We've seen as Gardner, Freiburg. I think they feel very confident in that. And, having one senior, this is almost like a dress rehearsal for the Hornets. So if they can host a prelim and win that prelim and get into the quarters, I think that would be a, quite a success. I think you consider that a successful season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much. It's been an enjoyable evening. Hope you enjoyed watching at home. Good night.